you're pretty toxic.
What I do?
I'm not anymore. Not
What
anymore.
the fuck I do?
Not anymore.
To this nigga, man.
You know what I'm saying? You're pretty toxic. I was looking at fucking Patreon, and I'm watching the Safe House. Or you ask chat to ask you to put you in a hot seat.
Oh yeah.
And I'm listening to your breakdown on how you used to date, and it's such an emotional roller coaster for these women.
Nigga, I feel like I'm being very. I'm explaining what I'm doing.
Yeah,
but I think most niggas do that.
I don't know the way you position it. It's like, I ain't gonna lie, you seem a little evil, but unintentionally.
Which part seem evil?
Knowing that it's like, I like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm treating you like I like you.
You right?
We gonna go. Look, I want to go on. No. This is the mind fuck. This is the mind fuck.
Hey,
going over.
Hey. I'm gonna point out so many examples of him doing the same shit. Go ahead though. Go crazy.
All right, let me continue to bag on this nigga. The mind fuck is you hitting the chick up.
Yep.
Hey, what you on? I'm gonna come over, spend some time with you. We kick it, laugh, ha. Don't fuck. Just was there strictly for the vibes. You know what I'm saying? I just want to come over and watch TV with you. Watch your favorite show. Yeah. Let's run to the store and grab some. You like Reese's Pieces? Let's go get some Reese's.
Walk your dog. At the dog cool. All
of that shit. Yeah. And like, all right, holla at you and see this bitch next month. She's mind fucked because she's used to the niggas just, you know what I'm saying, trying to fuck.
Yep.
And it's like, no way. He like, this nigga is serious about me. Because the only way you could do this type of shit, you got to really, really like a motherfucker.
Right.
So it hooks me in as the woman. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so, oh, hell yeah, I want Terry. And then I approach you with it and you, ooh, I ain't ready for that.
Right.
Just hearing you say it, I'm like,
Okay.
Well, yeah. This nigga just waiting. He's over there cooking. He over there cooking.
I don't even want to do you like that, though. I want to, but I don't want to.
It must be bad. Okay. I didn't say
We
anything
almost
about
on
me.
a 1 year anniversary.
You say what?
We almost on a 1 year anniversary of that situation I was going to bring up.
What month is it? Why the fuck do you know that?
Rose Gold. Yeah.
Rose Gold.
Yeah. So we want to go there. We want to just start the episode.
I think we should just start the episode.
Welcome back, guys.
We gonna go into that shit, page. You gotta be fucked up. I had a cousin that I grieved while he was alive. And this cousin was somebody I really looked up to. Nice car in high school, super pretty girlfriend. I'm probably like 10. Taught everybody how to fight. Cold at the video game. All the clothes you wanted. Tall, like, smooth nigga. Like he was just like, he was that cousin, bro. Yeah. He was that the one that you just really, really wanted to be like, man. And I hadn't seen him for a while. I was down at school and I was in a mall. I mean, you know, my school is in the middle of nowhere. And I ran into him and he just looked like, to be honest, just strung out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he approached me super normal and I'm just looking like, who like this? Who is this nigga? I know this nigga. It was so confusing to me. I was so lost, man. And for anybody who ever, you know, lost somebody to addiction, I think it could be worse than losing, you know, I think it could be worse than grieving somebody who actually is not alive. And I say that because you watch them go from their highest, you watch them go to their lowest, and it's very like hard to believe as you watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like the situation they in. Then you watch them fight and try to come back from it, whether they got kids, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that they had in life, that they want in life, you watch them fight for it, and then you watch them give up, and then you watch them let go and just let the addiction take over, and then, you know, at some point maybe they come to their demise. The thing about it is addiction don't just steal the person's health, but it steal their identity. Like, I'm sitting next to, I missed him more sitting next to him than I did when he wasn't around. Yeah. Just the person that he used to be. You know what I'm saying? And today, we're going to talk about grief. We're going to talk about how, as men, how we handle grief. A lot of times it's a situation where, not that we don't feel anything, but we don't know what to do with what we feel. so we avoid what we feel, and it always comes out in other ways.
If you lazy, you waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon and shit like that,
Popping bottles,
you're setting the tone for everybody because you're the leader.
popping pills,
That's just what comes with being a man.
popping bitch ass niggas.
I don't want nobody making decisions over my life except me. Not a woman, not a judge, not an officer, not no motherfucker.
When them bullets hit them up, look like son had a seizure. Run up, give it up, you know the procedure. I be sipping Jack and honey.
I don't think nothing can make me feel like a man. I don't think nothing can make me not feel like a man.
Chains on my collar.
You can't take the benefits of being a man without the responsibilities.
Give you niggas halos on. Got it, kid.
Welcome back to Roses I Did. I'm your co-host, Terry Roseland.
I'm your co-host, Jones.
This show is the show we walk the path of self-improvement. We invite y'all to walk that path with us. We understand that everything's not our fault, but
If we blame ourselves,
we make better decisions.
exactly.
All right, man. Let's actually jump straight into the topic today.
That's crazy. The example you used, I got the exact same situation. It's like every family got that cousin who, the younger cousins look up to.
Yeah.
And every now and then, I probably mentioned it here on the pod, but every now and then I think about my cousin like that. And not too long ago, my auntie, his mom, my auntie, she sent me a picture. She sent me a picture of him and me.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna try to show y'all.
That's crazy.
Let's see. Damn, my fault.
Can't see
The
nothing
glare.
but forehead, man.
Yeah. But you can see it. But like
Yeah.
this my big cousin, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I was probably the same age right here. I was probably like 10. He was like damn near 19, 20, some shit. The handsome, could fight. The girls like him. Like he was a fucking rapper.
Yeah.
Back then it was cool to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not everybody, but it's like he was just like the standard of all of that shit. And he came to Chicago. We got a lot of family up here, obviously, but they lived in Detroit. This was the cousin who got me some head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
already know, yeah.
Yeah. And long story short, he was hanging out with my older cousins here, and they went to, a party or some shit, and motherfucker laced his weed. Changed his whole personality.
Yeah.
And you just saw the decline. I remember he had like a episode. We was in the car. It was me, my pops, him, and maybe my sister or maybe one of my cousins. And we in the car, bro. We get to a red light. The nigga is like looking. My pops is driving. The nigga start looking at my daddy, and he saying, "Big Red, what you doing, man?" We like, huh? And he seemed real distraught. He like, what you reaching for? What you reaching for? Like, you trying to kill me? And we like, Dre, like, you cool? Chill out.
Yeah.
Nigga, it was raining outside, pouring raining.
Yeah.
He hopped straight out the car and just took off running. And eventually found him, checked him in the Jackson Park Hospital.
Yeah.
And it was just a decline. He just ain't been the same since. And I almost look at it just how like his mom probably look at it. I wonder what he would have been. You know what I'm saying? The potential that he had, the type of person, like how successful he was gonna be. I just wonder how I see like me grown now and doing what I'm doing. It just I grieve that.
Yeah. I think that the hard part about losing somebody from addiction is that the hard part about losing somebody from addiction is that you don't really get those great memories. You know what I mean? Like I've lost people, my grandmother, my grandfather in old age, and I just remember the great times. You know what I'm saying? I lost friends young through gun violence, and I still remember the great times. The death was sudden, like, but addiction, like when somebody fighting that over a prolonged period of time, when they do go, it's kind of like a relief because you don't have to worry about them no more. Where they at, what they doing, if they okay, if you got to bond them out, if they got to check into the hospital. It's kind of like a relief, and that's sad to say. And we're going to get into like accepting while you grieve, accepting the mixed emotions, the feeling, sad, but also relieved. You know what I'm saying? And feeling guilty that you are relieved. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's kind of like you just remember more bad than good, unfortunately. And it's very difficult to remember those times when they was good because they image in your mind is just so tainted by whatever they had going on while they was fighting their addiction. So we're gonna start off by defining grief.
Yeah. So grief is the emotional response of losing something or someone. And typically, like when you say grief, people instantly think of loss of life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's almost like the standard of grief. But as we open the show up, it's a lot of different versions of grief.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We grieving, but my cousin's still alive. You know what I'm saying? So you got that, and it's you got the 5 stages of grief. I think her name is Elizabeth something. What was it? It's like denial, anger. I don't, not delusion. Hold on. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Yeah.
But the thing with that, like you got these 5 stages of grief, but in real life, it's not gonna come like that. You know what I'm saying? We talking about a human's emotions. It come in waves. You know what I'm saying? You might be
stuck in step 1
stuck in step
for
1
the rest of your life.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then you might jump into bargaining. You know, it hits you at awkward times. So it's not like, even though you got the 5 steps of grief, you're not gonna go through them in that order.
Yeah.
And that can also make the process more difficult and confusing because, like, you damn near could be with acceptance one day. That's the last step. One day you could wake up and you might accept it. Like, yeah, cool. Nigga, 3 months from now, you back at angry. Stage 1, I'm mad.
You're human, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that's how we define grief.
Absolutely. And that makes me think about so many things, but every couple that I ever met, and I'm pretty sure it's couples that don't fall into this under this umbrella, but every couple I ever met who lost a child couldn't make it work. You know what I'm saying? And I've talked to a few couples who lost a child, and it was just like the blaming back and forth, like, and it's just like it's blaming, then feeling guilty that I'm blaming you, and then blaming you again. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man, thinking about those situations. But we're gonna talk about the types of grief, and it's quite a few. The first one we're gonna talk about is anticipatory grief, which is grieving something before it actually happens. You know, so that might be you have a family member who's terminally ill and you know it's coming, and you're already grieving the loss because you know it's about to happen. You know what I mean? You have different disenfranchised grief, which is a new one for me. It's invalidated grief. It's basically someone saying, "Oh, you wasn't that close to him," or you ain't even know them like that. Like somebody invalidating how you feel that just greatly shapes your grieving process. You know what I'm saying? Optimistic grief, loss of future hope. So it might be you get incarcerated, you get life in prison. You're grieving whatever you had in front of you. Not even life in prison. Let's say you fucking 19 years old and you get 10 years. You just lost your whole 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like gone. Whatever you thought you was finna do, college, whatever, over with. You know what I'm saying? Or at least going to college at the age you wanted and having the experience that you wanted, over with. You have what they call review grief, is and these are a lot of terms I've never heard before.
I've never heard these.
This is loss, the grieving the loss of your past self. So we talk about how we might be grieving somebody who's lost their identity due to addiction, but how do they feel about losing who they were? You know what I'm saying? I've watched TV shows about women who get married and they just miss who they were before kids, who they were before marriage, the life they had, the freedom that they had, things like that.
I think athletes go through that a lot.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Like going from walking out the
D1.
tunnel, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody going crazy to where like boom, it's over. Especially coming out of college. If you was that guy in college, most of y'all niggas not going to the league. You know what I'm saying? It's over. That's it. You ain't even get to the brightest lights or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Chronic grief, of course, that's just grief over a prolonged period of time. You have masked grief, which is grief that we hide in other ways, and this is one that we're gonna go very deep into in this episode. is because we do it a lot as men. We grieve and we mask it. Yeah, we make it look like something else. We make it look like overworking. We make it look like working out. I mean, you know what I'm saying, like obsessions with other things, bitterness. It could be silence. You know what I'm saying? Anger, whatever the case may be. Irritability. Then we have delayed grief. I actually got to look that one back up because I didn't write the definition.
Delayed grief?
Yeah.
I just off context clues, I think delayed grief is the loss happens and you okay with it. But then down the road, maybe it hit you like a ton of grief.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ton
That
of
happened
bricks.
with when my grandmother died. It just didn't hit me at all.
Yeah.
Until
That was
like,
shit.
way
That,
later.
when my sister died,
Yeah.
like I didn't cry until, you know what I'm saying, the funeral. I was in front of her dead body.
Yeah.
Didn't cry.
Yeah. And then the last one is a very tough one, which is ambiguous grief. Ambiguous grief is, I actually want to get this one perfect. The person is physically here, but psychologically gone. So that could be addiction, dementia, severe mental illness. And this also can apply to someone that's missing. I think that that's an extreme form of grief that I would never want to experience. I think that there's a lot of closure that you could get with someone passing away. But if a family member is missing and they just never found, and you just have to at some point 15 years from now assume that maybe they must have passed away, or imagine where they could be. Because that's a lifelong, like that's never ending, especially if it's someone like your age or younger. You know what I'm saying? If they much older than you, then maybe one day you just assume that they probably have passed away at this point. But if somebody younger than you or your age, you always gonna kind of wonder, like, is this person out here somewhere?
That reminded me of a part in the book, The Four Agreements, how us as humans, we only maybe punish ourselves for the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you'll make a mistake or whatever, but you'll keep reliving it, feeling the emotion, etc.
Yeah.
And dealing with a family member that's missing, dealing with a family member that passes away, it's way easier. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anybody that offended you, but you know where they at. You know what I'm saying? You know they're not here anymore. But wondering, like, just imagine like your child missing, bro. Like, you do not know. You come up with, the mental wreckage that's gonna cause, because you gonna come up with so many different scenarios.
It's a nightmare. I don't even. It hurt me to imagine.
I just got a little chill.
My kid being missing and just not knowing. And really, that's something you can speak. You experienced that for a couple hours, not too long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk about it if you want to go there.
Yeah, that shit.
No pressure.
Motherfucking the school had ended up calling me. Well, my baby mom had ended up calling me one day. She went to go get my son from school, and I guess she get up there and they looking for him. They tell her they didn't put him on one of the school buses, and it's like he's never been on a school bus. Y'all know, like, he get picked up. His brothers and them still here. Why would y'all put him on a school bus? So now she called me. I'm asleep. I'm like, all right, so where he at? They like, they can't locate the bus. I'm like, they can't locate the bus. So I get up to the school. I'm up there for hours, bro. Hours. Waiting on them to find. I guess he done dropped everybody off and realized he wasn't supposed to be on the bus. It was a whole bunch. Like I said, I'm up there for hours waiting on them to come back. When they finally contact them, bring them back to the school. But the whole time, bro, I'm thinking about every movie I done ever seen.
Right.
Every scenario I could think of. I'm like, damn, did he get off the bus with one of his friends? Did he just get off at any random stop? Is this shit a setup with the school? Is the school stealing kids? Like, it was so much. I had so much shit going on in my head that I just had to pace. Because if I would have, like, let my emotions get the best of me, I probably would have damn near ended up in jail for, I don't want to say for nothing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit.
Yeah. I can imagine, bro. I remember that movie with Taraji P. Henson. Kind of dramatic movie, but what is it called? Straw? Y'all know that movie?
Yeah, I remember that.
Where she, it showed in the end of the movie that her daughter had actually died the day before, but in the movie, she was delusional. She thought her daughter was still here, and she had that crazy day. And ended up robbing, like, she just snapped.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So you could imagine, like, in real life, like somebody just snapping and going off like that because your head just so fried. Let's talk about the ways that men deal with emotions. I'm sorry, not emotions, but grief.
Damn near like we deal with every other form of emotion, because grief is
Yeah.
a form of emotion. We don't necessarily deal with it, we manage it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Men, we manage it with typically the number one way men manage grief is through distraction.
Facts.
Through distraction. And when I said distraction, like when you think like men, avoid it through distraction, you can instantly think of like a negative distraction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Drinking or, smoking or having sex with a bunch of women. That's usually the distraction guys take, after a heartbreak.
Yeah.
But when you talk about grief, it could be a positive distraction, but it's still a negative end to it. You know what I'm saying? You could consume yourself in the gym. You can consume yourself in a hobby.
Absolutely.
You can consume yourself, with other people, with your community. But the thing is, that's cool. That's like a Band-Aid, but that wound is gonna be there. You got to face it in some capacity, because I don't think I've met somebody who was dealing with grief to whereas they're just okay now. It's like, all right, I've solved it. I've done the therapy. I've, sat in my emotions, etc. I'm good now. That's
Absolutely.
kind of like a thing that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And through therapy, through conversation, through community, you learn to manage it in a healthy way. You learn to manage it the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So typically we're distracting ourselves.
I did some research on it a little bit. Like I was really digging into this episode, man. And what I came up with was they say it's 4 D's that men typically do. And distract is one of them. It's crazy that you said that. It's delay, meaning I'll think about it later. I'll think about it after the funeral. I'll process it after I get back to work. I'll think deeper into it after the family is good. And after never comes. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always you putting it off until it just hits you one day and now you fucked up, which is what happened when my grandmother died. The second one is distract, which you just said, work, sex, the gym, video games, just burying yourself in something, because when you distract yourself, it kind of feel like control. Like that's your way to control it, to keep your emotions in check and to keep just putting it off, delay it through distraction. The third one is deny. I'm straight, everything cool. You snapping off on motherfuckers. You could barely sleep. You know what I'm saying? But you constantly denying everything's okay. You in denial, And the last one is just to disconnect. Disconnecting from people, isolating yourself. And I think at a point, for a lot of us, like being vulnerable kind of feels like being exposed. If you don't have good community, sometimes I feel like I give myself too much credit on my ability to be vulnerable. Just thinking that like this thing I built up over time that I'm strong with. But in reality, I think it's the community I built over time that makes me comfortable to be able to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I've been intentional about building that community because of just me being me. But at the same time, I think a lot of people don't have that community.
No.
And if you don't, regardless of how much you try to be vulnerable, it's going to be difficult, because if you opening yourself up to that and it's not, and you being attacked and it's getting thrown back in your face, man, you're going to close yourself right back off. So it is all about community at the end of the day. So those are the 4 things: delay, distract, deny, disconnect.
Yeah.
That we see men do the most.
What's some name something that you grieved that wasn't like, a death, loss like that?
Career paths that I could have went into. Ideas I had that I never pursued. I think those are some of my biggest grieves outside of people. And I say that because, and it's stuff that like, because somebody can say like, oh, why won't you go back into it? It's like, it's not even an interest anymore, but it's just the fact that I didn't do it and I didn't get that experience and I didn't learn what I was supposed to learn at that time in life. And I wasn't prepared. I talk about it all the time. Like I brought it up to y'all so many times, like the different situations to where like I just didn't prepare myself for the big moment, and the big moment came and I missed it. And that type of shit, regardless if I never want to go back to that career path again, it's just I didn't even get to climb that mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's 100% because of me. So I grieve that shit. I grieve opportunity loss. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
What about you?
Something similar, and I noticed this maybe like a week or two ago. Yeah, I know everybody know I was gun hold on working at Salesforce, you know, all of that. And now that in tech, you know what I'm saying, dope title, I met my goal, but I was on LinkedIn not too long ago, and I'm scrolling, and out of nowhere I just see, you know, just person after person,
Right.
like making like statuses like you know, I'm pleased to announce that, you know, I'm starting a new position at Salesforce as a sales engineer.
Yeah.
And it's like every time, you know what I'm saying, I clap for him, but I notice, I'm like, I feel jealous.
Yeah, it's human. Yeah.
I feel jealous. I feel like a sense of loss. I lost that opportunity, or it passed me, or whatever the case may be. That was my desired outcome, and I had to move on from it. And even though I'm in a good space, when that comes up, it's like you could say it's a trigger.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel that loss. I'm grieving the fact that I didn't make it there, even though I put in the work, even though I did all whatever I needed to do or whatever. So that was a form of a loss, and I would say also grieving, you know, people that's still alive, romantic situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember I had just me and the person I was dating. We had just had a conversation to where it's like, this is, you know, we gotta cut off all contact, cold turkey. You gotta go your separate way. I gotta go my separate way. And you do that going from seeing this person every day, living life with this person, you know, got memories, all of that. And now you gotta forget they exist. Like that grieving process, that's the hell of a grieving process. Cause you're here. I know you're here. You exist. You're on this planet. You're in the city.
Yeah.
But it's like that connection ain't there. And that was tough. It took me, nigga, it took me years to get over that.
Really? I just be friends. I don't know about all that shit.
That's what, look, he the nigga, y'all know this. That nigga is friends and just like, you know, got contact with everybody. But I couldn't do that.
We just friends. I ain't finna act like you died.
No, I had to.
Why?
That was a way to get through the grieving process, because
The breakup, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We ain't bring that up. A breakup is a grieving process.
Yeah.
Like the actual breakup, not even just saying like you never talking to the person again, but just breaking up with somebody, period. You know
Think
what I'm
about
saying?
breakup, it's like just levels. You got the breakup that hurt. Imagine motherfuckers that was married 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, and that process. I've seen, you know what I'm saying, people be really fucked up about, you know what I'm saying, and they divorce, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a hell of a loss. What other types of, outside of the loss of opportunity, name something else you grieved?
What else have I grieved? Whatever I feel like I lost outside of people.
Yeah.
Like, so not humans.
I mean, yeah, you could. Yeah.
You saying outside of death though?
Outside of death. Yeah.
I can't really think of nothing else, man.
Okay.
You got something else?
Off the top of my head,
Yeah, I can't really. Other than opportunities, let me think.
opportunity. What I say? Opportunity, romantically.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like I've been very, and I thank God for this often. I haven't had a close loss in my life.
Yeah.
I'm 35. Everybody that's like in my immediate, you know what I'm saying, family, cool, you know, I've never experienced like a close loss. And you might think of my sister. I didn't, like my sister, she moved away like to Florida when I was like legit, like baby. And she came back when I was a sophomore. So the relationship is different. But I've been fortunate enough where, you know, I haven't had to navigate that type of grief.
Yeah, like so with me not knowing like really none of your sisters, really like knowing them.
Yeah.
When you said that, because I remember you said you had a sister that got shot,
Yeah.
and that wasn't the same sister.
No.
Okay,
That was
so-
the sister that I was super close with. I am super close with.
Yeah. So I remember both of those situations, but it's like your response, or at least around us, like was so normal that it was just like I don't even know if I should ask this nigga. Is it gonna trigger him, or should I just like not bring it up? Like, and then I didn't know, because when you said your sister passed away, I'm thinking it's one of your close sisters, because of course, like. And when I say I don't know your sisters, like I know them when I see them, but I don't know their names for real, or like when they say something on social media, I don't be knowing their accounts and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They be saying funny shit. Like, nah, he like, that's my sister. I was like, I didn't know who that was, But of course, when I see him when I know him. So when you said that one of them passed away, I was just like, damn, that's fucked up, because I know how close you are to those sisters. So I thought it was that, but you was acting so normal, like, and I'm just like. I don't know, but I like that's how niggas really be handling grief at the same time. Like niggas be super normal.
Now, when my sister that got shot, like that's not triggering for me, because she's here and she's well and she's it ain't her quality of life didn't change and all of that type of shit. But nigga, best believe I was outside the house, because I didn't when I didn't know, when I got to the hospital, they like, yeah, she upstairs. That's when I'm started thinking of all this shit, and I'm crying right there, because I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, man.
But when I found out she was good, it was like, cool. Like, in my family, something wrong with us, man. Like, something wrong with us. As soon as we know you okay, the jokes immediately come. Immediately. She's in the fucking hospital bed. Like, God damn, how the fuck you get shot, dumbass? we doing shit like that. Like, my pops just had, he just had a health scare like maybe 2-3 days ago. Like, motherfucking ambulance had to come get him out the crib, take him to the hospital.
Damn, for real?
Like, something was wrong. Maybe his diet. He was talking about he ate some turkey tips and then. But like, nigga, as soon as we found out he was good, nigga, as soon as we found out he was good, we like, nigga, you could only eat grapes from now on, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of black people, we deal with like our traumas and loss with humor. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Absolutely, man. That's a tough one, man. I think that we talk about the only acceptable emotions for men, and typically we say anger, but I think it's anger, humor, and probably stoicism. And when I say acceptable, I mean like
it's no pushback, it's no challenge against it. You're not gonna question it.
Yeah, and I would say a lot of men don't grieve. I want to be careful when I say this. Fuck careful. I want to be clear when I say this. I'm not saying that we should blame other people for why we can't grieve. We should blame women. We should blame our family. We should blame these other people. Because at the end of the day, it's up to us. So, albeit, a lot of times we don't grieve because there is the responsibility and pressure to provide. So, we get that your grandma just died, but you got to go back to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't get 2 weeks off work, or you don't get to sit in the house and cry all day. It's just like you get couple days, like everybody kind of got their little threshold in their mind for you. It's not a set number in nobody's mind, but everybody start feeling that same way. Like, all right, nigga, take your ass back to work. Like, get back to it. Like, it's shit. You got shit to do, and you don't really get that space as much as a woman. A woman might get more space. Now, this is capitalism, so everybody got to get back to work. Like, I ain't trying to fuck that up for nobody. But at the same time, women get a little bit more grace. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In most families, there are some families where men get baby, those families exist. Now, that's not to say that it's their fault, because at the end of the day, if you need to take your time, you should take your time. I think as men, we have to work on not letting society just pressure us to be robots. You know what I'm saying? I think it's up to us to stand up for ourselves. Like, ain't nobody else gonna come and stop, you know what I'm saying, people from having these unrealistic expectations of you, especially if you keep trying to meet them regardless of if you have the capacity to actually meet them or not, regardless if you killing yourself or tearing yourself up inside to meet everybody's expectations. It's up to you to set that boundary at the end of the day.
Yeah, we just as guys, as a collective, we in a deficit when it comes to managing emotions, displaying emotions. We in a deficit when it comes to identifying and being seen as a human being. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're over the last maybe 10 years or so, where the conversation has been being pushed forward that like, nah, it's cool, you could cry. Oh, it's cool, you could grieve, you could, feel emotional, etc. And that's like, it's almost like any, form of trauma, or it's the residual effect, because we've been like this for so long, and now it's like, nah, it's okay to do these things, but internally it doesn't feel okay. Like the conversation is being had. Yes, you can cry. Yes, you can be emotional, but as we do it internally, every man, regardless of regardless of how you feel that guilt. You feel like, oh, I can't do this for too long. I can't show too much emotion. You know what I'm saying? I can't be too sensitive. I can't be too vulnerable. I know it's accepted, but deep down, I'm just not wired to, believe that you're not judging me.
Yeah.
It's tough. And when I first started going to therapy and just becoming vulnerable and stuff like that, I've said this repeated times. I'm gonna always be vulnerable, but trust and believe I'm uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that over time,
You finna be vulnerable in this Patreon.
this nigga don't take shit serious.
No, he is though. He is though. You got me fucked up, but it's cool though.
Hey, that shit bothering me.
I can't wait. I can't wait, nigga.
But nah, man. Yeah, this nigga play too much.
Too much.
But yeah, we just in a deficit, Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping that over time, as I continue to put the reps in and being vulnerable, it feels normal.
Yeah.
Right now, it still don't feel normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's tough, but
Damn, I had something to say and I lost it.
Because you playing.
Man. I lost it. Fuck. Oh, I was listening to this song the other day. We was in the car. I was listening to There Will Be Tears by Frank Ocean. You ever heard that song? Mm-mm. You ever heard Nostalgia Ultra? Mm-mm. It's Frank Ocean's first mixtape. You ever heard it real?
Nope.
Before we knew he was gay. Great mixtape. He made great shit after we
niggas
knew he
was singing
gay
their
too.
heart out when he was talking about some brand new feel. He found out he was talking about a fucking dick in the
butthole.
ass. He was like, hey,
Shout out to
it
Frank
out.
Ocean, man. Can't wait till my boy get back.
cut it out. Make great music.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my guy. It's a song called There Will Be Tears where he talks about losing his grandfather, which was the only father he had ever known. And in the line in the song, he says, I knew I couldn't cry, something to the extent of, I knew I couldn't cry because all these boys around me, all my friends, all my classmates, they ain't have fathers either, and they weren't crying. You know what I'm saying? So he said, it ain't so bad because you can't miss what you ain't had. You know what I'm saying? I work with 90% boys that don't have fathers. I don't know. Some of the older ones are actively grieving the absence of their father. Whether the nigga is up the street, whether the nigga is deceased, whether the nigga is locked up, whether the nigga is in a household and just don't fuck with him. Like, regardless of the fact. And they all do it differently. But the young kids I work with that are around 10 years old, I have 3 10-year-olds right now, 2 whose father are deceased, and that's actually a goal, is to help them through that grieving process. Like, that's what they're working with me for specifically. And then I have one who just doesn't have a relationship, doesn't know his father at all. And they all come off very unbothered and indifferent about it. You know what I mean? Which makes it a lot more difficult to even work with and work through. One of them told me his favorite cartoon, so I'm trying to watch his favorite cartoon to have something to pull examples and make analogies through to try to get to him. I hate the cartoon too. It's called Dr. Stone. It's an anime.
Oh.
But I'm watching it and shit, and I'm trying to figure it. I'm actually gonna watch it after this because I got to go meet with him tomorrow. But it's interesting because I feel like when we talk about the grief of a boy not having a father on social media, which I'm beginning to really hate social media. Like,
I saw your rant
I'm having
today.
a very bad relationship with social media right now.
You fed up.
But on social media, we throw all of those boys in one box. Like, you don't have a daddy, you got daddy issues, and we assume what that means about a person, as if everybody handles these things the same way. But there are like 3 or 4 different types of variations of I don't have a father. And one of those could be I never met my father, don't know who he is. I think that there's some challenge of identity at that point. Who am I? Who was this guy? It's this mysteriousness. It's this curiosity. I know a woman who used to see men who she felt like looked like her and wonder, is this nigga my father? You know what I'm saying? She even told me that it was times where older niggas would shoot they shot at her and she'd be like, this nigga might be my fucking dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she also worried about dating people who she might be related to because she has no clue about that whole side of her family. Like, has no clue who her father is at all. And I'm pretty sure some young men out here who have similar feelings. You have young men who might be missing a father because he's incarcerated. Their hero is captured. How does that make them feel? How does that allow them to look at life and look at themselves when the person that they look up to, the person who they want to be like, whatever the case may be, is captured, is incarcerated, is a prisoner? You have the young man whose father is deceased. The world killed their hero. Another human decided that your father don't get to live. How does that make you see the world? How does that make you navigate the world and society? And is the world a good place? And how should you treat people and things like that? And I think the most volatile, the toughest one to deal with is the young man who know their father, know exactly where he live at, and the father just does not want a relationship with them. Like, that nigga up the street, that nigga got a family, he got kids, I know exactly where he live at. That nigga don't want nothing to do with me. He not claiming me. He not fucking with me. He might have been in my life at one point when him and my mom was together. Or he might have, whatever the case may be. Those boys, from my experience, be angry in their bones. Like, they be mad. Like, ticking time bomb, literally. It could go down in school.
Anything could be their 13th reason.
Those are the, what the fuck is you looking at me for? Like, those kids. Like,
remember that kid you told us about? He got into a fight and he just overly. It's like, bro,
I'll never forget him.
This call, like, you shouldn't even be that mad because of what happened.
You're not that mad about this. You taking out your anger towards the world on this person because you can't take it out on who you want to take it out on. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine you said, you know your pops up the street, family and everything, don't want the, relationship with you, whatever the case may be. But imagine not knowing where he's at.
Yeah.
Who he is, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then finding out he lived like 3 blocks away from you.
Yeah.
And now it's like, that happened to my pops. He was like fucking damn near like 45, 50 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, 45, 50. He and hopefully that's cool. He was in Home Depot and he run into this lady from the neighborhood, whatever. Oh, hey, how you doing? Ooh, blah, blah. Small talk or whatever. And she said something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I ran into your father. Oh, and he like, is it like where? He like, yeah. And then she said his name, like, yeah, it's Terrell. He was on. And the lady realized, she like, oh shit, like you don't know.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, listen, I don't want to say anymore. That's not my place. You should call your mother.
Yeah.
And she just found out like nigga was up the street. So now as a grown ass man with fucking kids and he gonna process grief from a shorty up until now, and that's just a lot to get hit with at once. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we both fortunate to never have had to. All three of us are fortunate to have never had to experience that. I couldn't even imagine that, honestly. And it's crazy to say I can't imagine it because like most of my friends have experienced that.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they actually feel about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a conversation you typically have with guys. But I do want to get into some tools. I want to lead the guys with some tools before we get up out of here to work with grief, right? And I came up with 5.
Yeah.
5 tools for the toolbox.
Right.
Number 1 is identify. Identify what type of grief you have. We just named different types of grief: anticipatory grief, ambiguous grief. It could be guilt. It could be, complex grief, whatever the case may be. We name a couple. Do a little bit of research on your own. You know what I'm saying? We got ChatGPT and all these things. It's important to be able to name the type of grief and identify it. It's important to have the language around it, because when you have the language around it, it stops becoming like so much of a threat to you and becomes a process. And if we go look at it like a process, you can work through it. Because at the end of the day, we're men. We work through processes. We look at the instructions. We build the motherfucking dress. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? And with grief, it can be a process if we know the language and we identify it the right way. The next thing I want men to do is to reconnect. Like, you need community now more than ever. When you're alone with your thoughts, that is when the negative things start to happen. When I say alone, I'm not saying, it's cool to have solitude. It's cool to have time to yourself. And it's very important during that time to yourself that you practice positive self-talk. You talk to yourself more than anybody else talk to you. Make sure you're saying the right things. But you don't want to isolate for prolonged periods. You ain't seen nobody, ain't talked to somebody, you ain't answer your phone for a week, for 3 days, whatever the case may be. You need people more than possible. You need people more than ever, and you need to practice being vulnerable with the people around you. A lot of us tell ourselves a lie that we don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? And it's because it's some type of honor and valor of getting through things by yourself. And we lie to ourselves and tell ourselves we don't have nobody. In reality, we do. There are people who are willing to help us. You got a big sister who's been calling your phone. You've been ignoring the shit out of her.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? She can help you get through it. The third thing is routine. Routine helps so much. And some things you can put in your routine if you're grieving somebody. Number 1 is what I just said, thinking about memories in solitude, man. Thinking about the positive memories. And crying about them. You know what I'm saying? And laughing at them and calling them a dumbass, even though they ain't no more, and all of that, man. And kind of like finding a way to kick it with your homie, with your family member through y'all memories, the way y'all used to kick it when they was here. Writing about it. You big on journaling. I read a quote the other day that says, writing allows us to taste life twice. That's a fire quote. I think even if every day you just wrote a little paragraph about how you feel, about the person, about some things you would have said to them, that helps. Moving. Now, we don't want to use working out as a distraction. It's like we just gonna overly obsess in the gym. But it is good to get out here and swim that shit out. It's good to get out here and get in the gym and punch the fucking bag, punch it out, walk it out, taking walks, positive self-talk on those walks, listening to them sad songs, getting them tears out. Like, it's like the crying is just like really just like that energy leaving your body, bro. It really helps to release that shit, man.
Nigga,
and it feels good afterwards. You go ahead. I got 2 more, but go ahead.
No, I've made myself cry on purpose plenty of times to get the emotions out.
Yeah. You got to sometimes. Number 4 is making space for conflicting emotions. So this is what I kind of alluded to at the beginning of the show, and I want to go back into it. Sometimes when people pass away, we have negative feelings about them. Sometimes we're mad at them for passing away. Sometimes we're disappointed in the decision that they made that led to their death. Sometimes we have some level of resentment. Sometimes we have some level of relief. It's possible, and it's okay to make space for those mixed emotions because you're a human. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes you can miss a person and resent them at the same time. You can love a person and be disappointed in them at the same time. And you can feel relief because you don't have to worry about them. Whether, again, we talked about addiction. You might have somebody in your family, especially, I know a lot of mothers who have sons that's in the streets heavy, and they always worried, always. You know what I'm saying? They ain't answering the phone, the late night phone calls from the doctor, the motherfucker getting arrested, whatever the case may be. And you always just had this prolonged anxiety about what's going on with your kid because of the lifestyle they involved in. And if they pass away, there's a level of relief somewhere in there. And you might be ashamed of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you might feel like I shouldn't feel this way. But at the end of the day, you're a human being. And that part of you that's always worried, that part of you is relieved. But the motherly part of you is also, you know, well, the motherly part of you, part of that is relieved, and part of that is also, you know what I'm saying? The love is there too, and you do miss your child at the end of the day. It's just human at the end of the day.
Oh, that's something to navigate.
And the last thing I was gonna say is try to integrate the grief into your life. That sounds crazy. I don't think grief is something that you actually get over. I think it's something that you just learn how to carry. And for me, learning how to carry grief just looks like honoring the memory of the person who passed. So I love getting on boats in Chicago because of certain people in my life that I know would have loved it. I can't even swim. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's certain things I like to do because I know there are people who passed away in my life who would have loved to have this experience. And, you know, just feeling like you carry those people with you, and I get to do it for both of us. You know what I mean? And that goes also for the motivation to win in life, the motivation to be successful. And I think about my family tree and my lineage, and my great grandmother actually being on a plantation doing sharecropper shit. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother being in that space till she was about 10 years old on some sharecropping shit, which is another form of slavery at the end of the day. And then my grandmother never learning how to read. My mother going to high school. My mother eventually graduated college. And then it's like, how far can I take this baton before I pass it to my son? You know what I'm saying? I think about that when I think about my grandma. It's like, I'm taking our lineage to a place you probably could have never imagined. You know what I'm saying? We would get to in this generation. You know what I mean? So luckily, she even got to live to see Barack Obama become president. They was crying like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandparents was like, this shit is crazy. Man. Like, seeing a black president. So you think about everything that they've been through being born in the goddamn 30s. Like, my grandma was born in 1931.
Damn.
That's almost 100 years ago. 5 years, that's 95 years ago. You get what I'm saying? So, my way of carrying that grief through life is achieving. You know what I'm saying? Like, achieving, bro. Like, big shoes to fill. Not even big shoes to fill, but just trying to carry this shit as far as I can. So, those are my 5 tools for grief, man. Identify the grief. Reconnect yourself with your people. Create a routine for yourself. Create space for having those negative and positive emotions, and integrate the grief into your life. Learn how to carry it, you know?
For sure. Before we do AMP, you had said something about how, like, you could be mad at somebody who passed away or have some resentment towards them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just men, how we hide it well, how we manage it well, etc. In this conversation, I thought about my cousins who growing up was in the streets. And I know both my cousins has lost hella friends, like hella friends. But these are the cousins to I've never really seen them emotional, and you know they'll post their guys or whatever. I'll be around. It's like I forget that they deal with so much grief, and I wonder like how are you like they lost multiple best friends, multiple close people that's with them. And as far as the resentment, just imagine you got a friend, you got a homie, and you know what I'm saying, the guys that's in the streets, and real, you probably could relate to this. Just say you got a guy that's in the streets with you. But like this particular friend, nigga, militant as fuck. Keep you damn near safe, you know what I'm saying? Put you on game or whatever the case may be. Stop you from making crazy mistakes. And they in the streets one day, and you know, they lose their life. And you find out maybe they didn't have, you know what I'm saying, their gun on them, or they was somewhere. And they just did some shit that you knew they know better. And you're mad at this person. I've seen that version too. Like, you mad as hell at your homie. Like, how the fuck you was out there without this or whatever the case may be. And that's a heavy grieving, you know, process as well. And so it's a lot of different forms, man. A lot of different forms.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go into AMP.
I had a random thought. Today. And ladies, I'm gonna get this towards y'all, even though this episode was for the guys. I'm gonna leave y'all with something. All right. So you could be qualified for a thing. You could have the ability to do a thing. You can you have the tools, all of that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you fit into that role, that space, that environment, whatever, just because you're capable. Just because you're capable don't mean that you're fit for it. Like, you could goddamn, and I'm saying that to say, because a lot of ladies feel like, you know, they're good women, and you very much well can be a good woman. That's not the end all be all. To whereas maybe you grieve in the fact that it's not working out with a certain guy, and you looking at yourself like, I could do this, I could do that, I got this in order, etc. Kind of similarities to the last episode, but to give it like an analogy, if you take like a light bulb and a light bulb and you unscrew it, you could take a water bottle and put it up to the light bulb and screw it in. Just because you fit there don't mean you're supposed to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just gotta be aware of that and not hang your hat on the fact that you're I'm qualified.
For sure. For sure. All right, man. Advice for boy moms. If you have a son who might be grieving for the first time, whether it might be a grandma passed away, they might have a friend who passed away maybe from an accident or from being in the streets or whatever the case may be. It might be a father who's absent, who walked away from the family, who got incarcerated, who passed away, whatever the case may be. If you have a son that's dealing with grief, I need my boy moms to understand that we have to stop rewarding emotional shutdown with praise, like you so strong because you didn't cry, whatever the case may be. And we have to understand that if I'm raising a son to be honest, it's nothing that tell the truth more than tears at the end of the day. So when we reward this emotional shutdown, and sometimes I understand that it could be like pulling teeth trying to get emotions out of young men, but it's not even about trying to force the emotions out as much as it's about just normalizing that it's okay to have the emotions over time, and creating a space where it's just comfortable for them to feel however they feel. With my son, I always tell him like, hey, bro, it's nothing wrong with crying. You don't have to bring it to school. You don't have to bring your tears or your emotions everywhere you go. But inside of this house, it's always, you're going to have as much space as you need to feel however you want to feel. Whether, I don't care if it's something like heavy that happened in life with a family member, or if, nigga, I took your goddamn video game because it was being bad. You could cry as much as you want to cry inside of this house. And if it's about a video game, inside of your fucking room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hear that shit. But you can get your emotions out however you need to get your emotions out. I think it's important to make that space so we don't build men who don't know how to emotionally regulate themselves. That's extremely important. That's extremely important for a man that's going to be a husband, that's going to be a leader, that's going to have a family, that's going to have a job. It's just important for our men to know how to emotionally regulate. So let's stop rewarding emotional shutdown with the whole "you're so strong" shit and start giving our boys just a space. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Tax season is upon us, man. What's the smartest way to spend your taxes? How you spending your taxes this year?
Smartest way, I would say, buy a dog.
A dog?
Yeah. Get a pit bull and get two, because you're going to have enough for two pit bulls. Get two pit bulls.
Yeah.
Breed them.
Okay.
And start selling pit bull puppies. Then you take the puppies.
Right.
And get an LLC.
Right.
After the LLC, after you sell 7 puppies, you get to turn it into an escort.
Right.
After the escort, sell the 7 puppies. Keep one of them. The last one you got left, trademark it.
I thought you were going to put it in a trust.
But nah, man. I was honestly, advice for me, this is not financial advice. Advice for me, this is not financial advice. Put your tax return into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is $68,000 right now. Don't be fooled. It will be back up in them hundreds. So
Yeah.
store it away. Boom.
Maybe I could use my tax return to buy all the Bitcoin back that I sold. I'm waiting on that drop, though. I want it to drop a little bit more.
This is a great price, regardless. If it dropped to 50, it ain't that big of a difference. It's still an amazing price.
Absolutely. 18,000 is a nice difference.
I think it's not going to 18.
No, I'm saying if it dropped from 68 to 50.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be really nice, man. That'll be really nice. Spend your tax return on something smart. Invest in yourself. Yeah, do something smart with your money, man. That's all I got to say. We out.
It's all God in the cake.